Good evening, televiewers. You're welcome to this evening's edition of Prime R on my Media Prime. As tradition demands for Prime R on Fridays, we are looking at how to make our lives better from the financial and economic perspective. Today, we are going to be asking how to move from a fixed to a growth mindset, to how to move from a fixed to the growth mindset is the topic for tonight. We are going to be looking at what a fixed mindset is all about and what the growth mindset is all about, and what are those steps that we need to develop and put into practice as people who want to turn our fortunes around, people who want to turn our destinies around, those who want to be seen as very successful persons in our respective communities. We are going to be discussing this topic with our regular panelists, who two of them are already in the house. We hear that Mr. Teke and Ms. Air are caught in traffic. We hope that they brave it to join us in the course of the program. But we are in the company of Mr. Neba Paul, who is already here with us. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, televiewers. It's always a pleasure to be here. I say hello to all the televiewers of my Media Prime over there in Kumba and those in Bamenda. I'm so happy for the feedback that you people have been giving. These things concern us, and there's need for us to be discussing them always, so that we'll obviously shape a better future for ourselves.
You have my Media Prime viewers in Douala and Yaoundé now.
Yeah, but similarly, I was pretty surprised. Recently, I paid a visit in Kumba and in Bamenda, and I was pretty surprised how many people could recognize me there and actually praise the program and praise my Media Prime. So that's why I gave a special shout out to people in Kumba and Bamenda. But people are actually watching us all over the world through Facebook. So.
Okay, Mr. Aliansine Buji is also here with us. Good evening, welcome.
It's always a pleasure being on Prime R. Today is another day that we are going to be sharing. We are going to be exploring mindset. We talk about mindset is a topic that I'm always very interested in, because mindset is that which separates the best from the rest. So it's going to be a wonderful session, I can promise, and we will keep on impacting and transforming lives through this program, and that's why we are here.
Okay, we are going to be discussing this. I'll start with you, Mr. Boji. We're talking about mindset, a fixed mindset. What do we understand by a person or persons with fixed mindsets?
Okay, before we talk about a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, first of all, we want to look at what is a mindset. So a mindset pertains to how you think, your culture, it could be cultural beliefs, and the things that your ideas, they all constitute your mindset. And a fixed mindset is that type of mindset that doesn't change. You hold on to certain things no matter what you believe. Your beliefs are limiting. I can put it that way. You have limiting beliefs in some things. When it comes to a growth mindset, it means that you can learn. Or simple, with a fixed mindset, you know it all, or your beliefs are stronger there. But with a growth mindset, it's flexible, which means that you can acquire new skills, you can get new knowledge, you can actually change, you can adapt to change. So that's basically what fixed and growth mindset is, if I want to put it in the layman's way of understanding it.
Okay, fixed mindset is the mindset that would not want to embrace change with things that they all know.
Yes, Mr. Leo, a fixed mindset is that which holds to what was and says it is what it is, and it is what will be, and is not showing an endeavor to make sure that change takes place. That's a fixed mindset. That seems to play against the law of nature, or the law of change, which is something that is constant. That's what a good mindset instead embraces. Change is something that must occur, and in the times that we're living, it is very necessary for us, like individuals, to embrace a growth mindset, because in one way or the other, change must occur. And if we can't embrace a growth mindset, in the nearest future we will find ourselves in whatever domain where we are wanting. We might be out of use, we might be out of value, just because we have refused to stay with change, to move with evolution. So today I think this topic is a very, very brilliant one, because we are looking at where we are in Cameroon, where we are in Africa, and looking at the rest of the world, and then seeing how our minds have contributed to where we are today and the rest of the world. And certainly by the end of this program we would have seen what we should be doing, what we should stop doing, or what we should start doing in order to have the mindset that will give the necessary results that will push us ahead, Mr. Liu.
Okay, many persons are watching us. Mr. Buji, when we talk of a fixed mindset, specifically, what are those concrete things that people hold on to and not willing to move away from in the society today?
In the society today. Okay, for instance, you have somebody who believes that it's the duty of the government or their parents to take care of them. And they think that normally, as a child, you think that you cannot do something for your parents. It's the other way around. It's your parents to do things for you, or you think that you deserve a job from the government. And when there is no job, there is nothing you can do about it. You are there. You only give complaints. You have a blame on something except you. You always have a blame on the government, on people, on your parents, on the economy. Those could be a situation of a fixed mindset. Or a fixed mindset is not only about maybe about daily living. There are some people, it cuts across religion, it cuts across culture. You have some people who believe in some particular things. Like you have somebody who believes that they cannot be rich. Those are things that are all as a result of their mindset. What do they download into their minds? Their subconscious. When it gets to your subconscious, some things that you believe, it makes your mindset fixed and it's no longer flexible for you to embrace change. So basically, somebody with a fixed mindset would take a longer time or will not accept change, because those things are implanted. It's attached to their beliefs. Because a mindset, a bad mindset is like a spiritual stronghold. You can actually be praying and fasting, but the problem is your mindset. If you don't believe that you can live a better life, if you don't believe that you are the change that the world has been looking for, if you don't believe that you can be the savior of the world, then there is no way anybody can help you. Because your mindset, if you don't have a flexible mindset, there is no way you can embrace change. You can embrace something that would improve your life positively. So people with fixed mindsets, they are all-knowing. They believe in the things that they know. They believe in the things that maybe some systems have taught them. The patterns, you're coming to town, and maybe from your village you have some particular way of reasoning. You hold on to those things dearly. You're not flexible enough to adapt to new things and the new environment. Therefore, you have a fixed mindset.
Okay, Mr. Niba, many persons were talking about fixed mindset. Some people think that to survive in a country like Cameroon, for example, you need connection. If without connection, you can't make it in Cameroon. Is that also a fixed mindset?
Well, it depends, because when you say connections, it depends. Because if you say connections like what they call a parent in French, you know, that's a fixed mindset. But in another sense, if you are talking about connections like creating your own network, you know, relating with the right people that can enhance.
No, you are talking from the entrepreneurial perspective. I'm talking about connections from the normal Cameroonian.
Normal Cameroonian connections with government. That's a mindset. That's a mindset that is very fixed and is limiting Cameroonians from a lot. Because the moment that you set a boundary for yourself, you can't go beyond. And it's like a normal, you know. Like when Cameroonian sees another in a particular position, he or she doesn't believe that that individual would have been there through merit. It's always like somebody inside would have pulled the door for you to go through, which is a very stagnant mindset that is causing trouble in Cameroon, and it's increasing the social issues like corruption that they discuss on every day. Because in people's minds, they don't give efforts again to break the boundary, to see how they can go beyond and actually get things by merit. But because they understand that, okay, and for me to get through this door, I need somebody there to get me through, what they do is that they start taking measures. Like, okay, if I if I have to go through this concours, I need to this particular amount. If I have to get my ID card early, need this amount. I need a passport this early, I need this particular amount. Of which, by everything being equal, you can actually get to those places through merit. But because of the way we have perceived it, perception is everything. The world that occurs beside you, around you, revolves around your thinking. Once you have perceived that this is what the world is, that it happens to you in reality. I remember seeing my friend meeting my classmates in Douala without knowing them. Because I went to a particular school in Upseed. Going there, I have that perception in my mind that in that school they were always beating students, and I had it in mind that I was not going to be beaten in that school and I will not be popular. And I was sitting on the same position for 1 year, and I did not know my classmates. I met them later on when we were discussing. It happened that we were in the same class, but I never knew them. I was shielded by my perception. I was shielded by my stagnant mindset. And that is what so many Cameroonians are suffering from, because they believe that if I don't do this, if I don't have this person in this particular area that can enhance me to go through, if I don't have this person from my village, if I don't have this person from my family who is in this particular ministry, who is in this particular company, I will not be able to go through that particular door, which is a big limiting factor that we must fight if we want to actually get to emergence, as they said in Cameroon.
Okay, we have just been joined by Mr. Teke. Mr. Teke, we are talking about fixed and growth mindset today. We were looking at practically talking about persons with fixed mindset in Cameroon, and I raised the issue that many persons think that for you to succeed in Cameroon, you must have connections. Who are your connections?
My connection is my mindset.
Okay.
It's me. It's what I believe. Because no matter how many persons you wish to know on earth or in Cameroon, you can never assess them until you change the way you begin to think. So your first connection should be you. Should be your mindset, should be what you believe, should be that internal force in you that have the capacity to draw whoever you intend to meet closer. Because your mindset have the capacity to either send people away or bring people closer to you. So if you have a mindset that until you know certain people, you can never go far, it becomes difficult for you to know those people. So the first mindset you should have is mindset of going far. If you have the mindset of going far, it is how far you go that determines the people you meet up there. People you meet up there will never come to you. They are in their own comfort zone. So if you want to get to their comfort zone, you need to change your mindset of how far you want to go. And when you develop your mind of how far you want to go, you begin to build it up based on the belief system you have for yourself. You begin to change your paradigm shift. It takes you and then meet you with those people in their comfort zone, and then you can now have connection. Mm-hmm. People don't stay in their villages and then they know ministers. If you want to know a minister, you travel to Yaoundé. You have to get someone who knows Yaoundé, that's actually traveled to Yaoundé. And you cannot know someone that has gone to Yaoundé if your mindset is a limiting mindset. Like, okay, this is me, let me just stay in the village until I have someone in Yaoundé who can call me to come to Yaoundé. It doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. If you want to know Yaoundé, you want to join a certain cartel of people in this nation, you have to go find them. And it takes a mindset for you to even start thinking that I can just travel to Yaoundé just to create connections. It takes a kind of mindset. It takes a growth mindset to think that way. Mm-hmm. If you still have a limiting mindset or a fixed mindset, there is no way you can ever be pushed to just pay chance and say, I'm going to Yaoundé, I want to go to the ministry of this, and figure out how I can meet with this person because of this idea that I have.
Okay, Miss L, many persons also think that he's raising the issue of meeting persons in Yaoundé. Many persons think that if you have to get to meeting these persons in Yaoundé, you must soil your hands for you to emerge, to get rich. That's the concept. I rather be a truck pusher and be managing around so that I will not be seen or tagged as having soiled my hands with these big people in Yaoundé.
Okay, the first question is, what makes you think that every big person soiled their hands?
That's the
first question. Because if it appears that most people, if we're talking about soiling hands and you want to be away from people who are soiling hands and you are broke, then you are instead the problem. Not even those who you're thinking are soiling their hands. And so most of us, from a distance, we judge people's source of income. We judge people's path to success. We judge people's results, people's success results, other than the path that they took to succeeding. So it gets to the point where we are afraid. I feel those who feel like they don't want to associate with some people because they want to soil their hands, it's basically because they are afraid to dare some of those things that people are daring. And soiling hands doesn't necessarily mean that you are in a cult where, or a fraternity where they have to kill people and all the like. You just being even in a circle like this as we are seated here, you're actually putting your hands in a position where other people's hands are. There's actually no person who gets to a point where you are standing alone. There are always people around you. But now this mindset where we feel like every other person that has gone ahead must have put their hands, dip their hands somewhere that is bad and all the like, is one thing that is a limiting factor to most of us, especially Cameroonians. One time I said it here that if you're young now in the country, we know that if you're young, you have money, you're a scammer. If you're old and you have money, you are into cultism. That's the mindset that people have. And so really you cannot be comfortable and want to be able to get the results that uncomfortable people are getting. You cannot attract abnormal results if you're living a normal lifestyle, getting up in the morning and just doing your normal activities, maybe like truck pusher, like what Mr. Donald said. You're doing your truck pushing and all the like, and you expect to have the type of money that others are having. And now some people just feel like, okay, it's better to just live this normal life of just doing this and doing that. Trust me, it's because you are just afraid, and maybe you don't yet know how much you have in the inside of you. Because most of these people that we say that have soiled their hands are some group of men who just understood what they have, their abilities, and they dared to get more. Because these people who are staying on one position is more of the fact that they feel like it's okay to be just you. It's like how sometimes in the churches they used to make us feel like, okay, the poor people are the ones who go to heaven and all the like. Now, if we want to look at it in terms of making money and in terms of association, we understand that it is necessary for you to even get close to these people. I think every person has something that they are holding on to when it concerns succeeding. You must hold on to something. And when you're holding on to something, what we'll always say is that, of course, you should hold on to God, all right? But everybody hold on to something. Let's say even the knowledge. You can be with somebody and that person has a lot to offer you. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get into the same. Okay, let's say I'm working with somebody and I come to discover that you are a cultist. Trust me, even being a cultist, there's some information you have that I don't have. Away from being a cultist. I think one time I told somebody that I feel like those who are into cultism are just negligent. They are just ignorant rather of there's so much abilities they have. Because what they do is that they just get into the ability you have and then make you use your own ability and thinking that they are the ones who gave you the ability. Meanwhile, it's your ability. So you as a young man, or you as an old man, or whoever who wants to be able to thrive, who wants to be able to grow at the mindset level, you have to get to the point where you are ready to dare the things that others are daring. You cannot expect normal results you cannot expect abnormal results, or you're living a normal lifestyle, you're carrying out normal activities. So it's okay for you to get close to these people, but what we are more concerned about is you getting close to them and getting the information that is necessary for your individual growth. All right, when you're going beside somebody, I think if it's that you are afraid, before you want to get close to somebody, there must be something you have seen from a distance that you're going in for. You don't just get close to somebody like that. There is something you have seen that is attracting you to that person. And so when we get close to the person, when you get close to the person, get that which attracted you to the person. The problem is that most of us, when we get close to wealthy people and all the like, we forget the main reason why we became close to them in the first place. And so we lose focus, and everything we have to learn from them, we just forget about it. So it's nothing about soiling hands, it's nothing about you being afraid, it's all about you going after the information, the knowledge that you need for you to be able to succeed. Okay. So that's it.
Now, isn't it also a mindset not to dare to engage in, We see persons who are PhD holders, who are professors, who blame every day that nincompoops are running their lives. That they think that it is not, they don't dare to do what these persons that they describe as nincompoops and would sit and cry behind, because the others took the courage to dare to say, I want to run a council, I want to be an MP, I want to do this. But some persons think that they need to appoint them to do these things. People don't want to take initiatives.
That's absolutely right, because to succeed you need to adapt a success mindset. And that's why if you're looking about, let's go back to one of our products, the billionaire mindset. The billionaire mindset, you have the billionaire there and you have mindset attached to it as the title of that book, which tells you that there is a way that billionaires think. The billionaires have a particular mindset that makes them different from other persons, that makes them different from poor people, that even distinguish them from millionaires. Because there is no way you will see a billionaire cannot settle at the level of a millionaire. So for those people who sit down and think that things can happen to them or they deserve it, having a deserving attitude, having an entitlement mentality is already a mindset that would limit you from growing ahead. Because it's not about having a PhD, it's not about having a doctorate, it's not about having a master's degree, or a first degree that makes you qualified. If your mindset is in such a way that you know that you can go for the things that you want, which means that you can learn at every level, you are ready to learn about politics, to learn about entrepreneurship, to learn about religion, that's the only way you can grow. Apart from that, if you have your limiting beliefs that these things are meant for a particular class of people, there is no way you can go to the next level in your life. Because apart from just the fact that some people are doing the things that you think that you cannot do, there are also situations that you are forced to change naturally, because there are changes that come, and if you have a fixed mindset, there is no way you can maneuver through it. Think about the situation of COVID-19. There are some people who they could no longer go to their job sites. Their businesses have been closed because they refused, or they feel that they cannot learn new technologies. They cannot use Zoom. They cannot use do WhatsApp calls. With those type of limitations, because what you think that you cannot do is already a mindset. You are fixed your mindset. It's not expandable. But with people who are having a good mindset, they adapt to learn at every level. Which means that if they see successful people, they go closer to them and they learn with the objective of doing what? Learning.
Must they go close to successful people? They themselves, can they not be the success for others to come close to them in their communities?
That's what I said, that you need to be daring. You need to break barriers. See that what is this situation? Or if you think that you grew up in a family, your great-grandfather was poor, your grandfather was poor, your father was poor. With some situations, some people think that, oh, I cannot be a rich person.
It's our destiny.
It's our destiny. But with somebody who has a good mindset, they say, I will be the only rich person in my family. So when you have that type of attitude, it would give you the opportunity to expand your mind and grow, because everything is the way you think.
Okay.
I think mindset is a way of reasoning, it's a way of thinking. That's what basically is a mindset.
Way of thinking, way of reasoning. Mr. Nebapo, don't know whether Mr. Teke will expatiate also on it. I want the two of you to discuss on this. Some people think we're talking about moving from fixed mindset to growth mindset. Some people think that to succeed in life, you must fall bush. If I don't fall bush, I'm doomed.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You know, this is how I put it. Discussing with my friend Galaxy J1, what we say is that those who are weak should fall bush, while those who are strong should stay here. Because over there in bush, you have systems that have been fixed, that while they go there, they will be forced to work hard. We have our brothers who cannot work here for 8 hours, but there they work for 16 hours. Because there's no caressing, there's no, they fall in the system. But those who have that energy, that strength, who think that actually change this country, should stay here. Why those who are weak go there, get into the system, gather resources, gather knowledge, bring it back, while we combine together and develop this country. Having the idea of following bush and making it out there before coming here, to me, is not a problem. But now, understanding the whole concept, because I would say a crocodile here goes there will be a crocodile, a lizard here goes there will remain a lizard. You understand? But now, if you should understand that going there, it will necessitate that you should change your mindset, fit in to be successful. Because if you go there and you still have the same mindset that you have here, you will not make it. But truth be told, there are people who have gone there and made it, and they have changed their communities, they have changed their families, they are changing Cameroon. We have a lot of Cameroonians overseas. I mean, I would say the Cameroonian diaspora is a huge resource that we should link up with, we should tap from, because they have resources, they have money, they have knowledge, that if we combine together, we're going to have a lot in this country. But if your idea is just like, okay, if I don't go there, I can't succeed, without even understanding the settings there, you will go there and fall amongst those who don't succeed still. We have hundreds of our brothers who are out there who cannot come back to the country because they went there with a particular mindset, and with that mindset they went there, they did not want to change and enter the system, and they can't come back here again. Why? Because we of course, Cameroonians have that mind of expecting from bushfallers. They know that, okay, if you're over there, if you're coming back here, you should be coming with millions, when you come, you share stuffs around. And when they stay there and they understand, okay, I've not made it for 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, it becomes so difficult for them to come back to the country. So to me, having the mind of going overseas and making it there is not a problem. But now, how do you go and make it there? What's your intention of going and making it over there?
Yeah, but we've seen many persons, Mr. Teke. I remember when we were in the University of Boya, some persons would forfeit an entire year, and they ask, why are you staying here? They want to say, I'll be the host of a four bush. That is, you put everything on hold because you want to four bush. And lots of people, some people will tell you that I abandon what I'm doing. They change their line of action because they wanted to four bush. And some people get frustrated. You have many persons that you will see them, they will say, no, with the sorry that man, I say, you want four bush, you don't struggle for four bush. So some people think they can only make it out of this country.
All right, that's fine. Following bush thing, it has caused a lot of trouble. I have a lady, let me not call her name because I didn't take permission. She's doing very well now. But when I met her, she had lost close to 12 million. She's a teacher, and teachers sometimes have the privilege to get money from the bank and all of that. And she took a loan just for bush, and then she lost all of the money. She was almost committing suicide until she met me in 2018. Then I started talking to her. She started attending most of my meetings and my trainings. Got herself together again. I had to talk to her to just forget that bush is not for her, that she can make it in Cameroon. And today, that woman has more than 12 million investment in Tex Global. She has made a lot of money. She attended SHEP, learned how to bake cake, and today she has her own pastry business that she's doing. But if she never met someone, she would have committed suicide, or would have been looking for a means to travel again. So first, I want to let's look at this way. People did what they could do because they had the right information was not given to them. Sometimes while we're growing, we believe that traveling abroad is the best thing that can ever happen to you. We knew that. But right now, the Cameroon we had 5 years ago is changing. New informations are coming up. We are learning new things. We now know that the pictures our brothers used to snap in front of big houses and big cars are not actually theirs. Either they have borrowed it or they just stood there to snap. So we have to understand that it has nothing to do with your success. Your location, your physical location, has nothing to do with your success. Your first location for success is your mind. If you don't have a growth mindset, travel to America, you'll be broke in America. If you have a growth mindset, don't have the means of traveling to America, stay in Cameroon, you'll be a billionaire in Cameroon. So the point is, it depends on what you want. You can decide that I want to go to America, that's where I want to live, that's where I want to make it big. It's okay. If you go there with that mindset, you will grow because you will walk with a purpose. What growth mindset gives you is that it helps you to walk with your purpose. But what fixed mindset does for you is that it makes you walk based on whatever will be, will be. So you just live your life. This is me. Cameroon is a bad country, or Africa is a bad continent. Whatever happens to us, we take it the way we have seen it. Case closed. If you go to school, you come back, and then you're not getting a job. You tried concours, is not working, and then you surrender. Whatever will be, will be. That's an example of someone that is living with a fixed mindset. But a person with a growth mindset is someone who is always looking for a means to change it. And most times, these people do the extraordinary. They do the things that people cannot dare. How we know people that have growth mindset are people who take actions with the mentality that they want to change both their lives and the life of the entire world. How do you know someone with a fixed mindset is someone that anytime they think of themselves, they think of how to grow, they think of what to put in their tummy. How do I have food to eat today? My family doesn't have food, my wife doesn't have, my children don't have food. Anybody that sits around you and all they say is how they can get food to eat for that day, they don't have a growth mindset. They have a fixed mindset. Someone who has a growth mindset and that actually want to make influence in life should start thinking beyond food in their tummy. That's what will make them say that, no, I have 2 million, I'm not going to America. Because when you take 2 million to travel to America, if you successfully travel, you have to work for like 6 months to start raising money, actually to have the 2 million you actually got from wherever you got it from. So imagine 6 months of your life, you would have made something very beautiful in Cameroon if you could think very well. So we should be able to think that, see, location is not the problem is your mindset. Do you have a growth mindset? If yes, your growth mindset should be able to create ideas within you that have the capacity to draw forces around that can put you to the place you want to be. It is your mindset that can give you that can draw the network or the people you want around you. If you have a poverty mindset, you will always have poor people coming around you as friends. If you have a rich mindset, you always find yourself among rich people, whether you like it or not. This is because the universe has a way that it responds to our thoughts, our belief, and our words. So if you wake up in the morning and say, Cameroon is hard, I just show me for hustle now, I no one find problem. If I find I go outside and throw a granite, I no get money for pay. What happened is this: the universe simply says, okay, or God says that he should not go out so that he will not throw somebody's granite. You stay at home. What will happen is the only people that will come around you are people who don't have food to eat, they don't have salt to cook their food, they don't have pepper, and they will come to start begging from you. And you're like, this will, I not get time, you two you can't beg me. Then you just find yourself sitting in one conference or one environment in the quartier and start discussing. Before you know, you start playing draft or start playing card or start playing ludo, and then you start drinking pami in the quartier and all of that, and your life just remain there. Why? Because it is your thought. That's what you have thought, and that's what you have said. And the universe will always bring those circumstances to you. So do you want to change from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset? If your answer is yes, what are you supposed to do? You have to start stepping out. Leave your house, just go out for nothing. Even if there's no way you are going to, just walk out, go out and see how outside looks like. Go to some of the best places, just sit down and look at the environment. There's a way beautiful environment reflect an image in your mind and it start changing your mindset.
People say that I would not want to go out so that I may cause a problem and not.
It's okay. It's beautiful if you cause a problem because you need a change in your life. Why do you leave Cameroon and travel to America where you don't have a job? I have seen people who don't have a job, they don't have a good certificate, they don't have a skill, they just know that let me just travel abroad. So they just go there with no promise of a job. That's the highest risk you can take. So which is better of traveling abroad where nobody knows you, or just going out into other, at least if something happens you can place a call. Someone can come to your rescue. So what are you supposed to do? Just go out for nothing. Go out, look at an environment you admire, stay there for too long. Definitely that thing will come to you.
Okay, it will come to you. Another fixed mindset is the fact that I come from a broke family. Yes, my father did not leave me with land. I've read many persons say so, that we had virtually nothing. So there is nothing I can lean on. Those people, they are succeeding because their father left 7 plots, 15 plots for them to sell. Yeah.
Mr. Lewis, I think this thing is me. Okay, so it's me. Someone actually saw me one day, and as a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, someone went to one of my companies and then was talking to the ladies at the advertising billionaire mindset to him. He's actually a lawyer, and then he said, leave that small boy. I know the boy now who give money. Say, Test Global no be company. Say, now people, they are company. They just gotta open the company, just put him in stand for forefront. Why? Because they can't imagine that someone at this age from nowhere could actually have this kind of name. I don't have a family name. Let me use that word. As in name, if it has to be name per name. I don't have a family name because I don't even know my father's village. My father was adopted by my mother. I think I just started saying that recently because he grew up in he stayed in my mother's village, built a small plank house in my mother's village with no property for any of his children to hold on to. The only property my mom and my dad had was there were 11 children, 12 children. And unfortunately for them, none of these children died. So my parents died, leaving 12 human beings, broke, hungry, tattered, beaten, battered, and shattered. And nobody was making a headway from nowhere. Everybody you have to take care of yourselves. And that was a big problem for me. I don't know, somehow I find myself getting angry with that condition. If you go to my house today, because of the crisis, so nobody can actually go to the village. But if you go to my village, my mom's village today, we don't have a house, we have a plank house. Those kind of houses where if you stay outside, you can actually see through the house because you see rats have eaten, maggots have eaten some of those woods and all of that. It's not been long they put cement floor. You know, you can just put cement and floor the place. It means it was ground. It was bare floor, mud floor. So you don't need to come from a very rich home, or you don't need to have an inheritance. It might be a plus for someone that have a growth mindset, but you don't need all of that for you to be successful. I always say this: everything you need in your life for your success is in you. All you need to do is to step into the right information and to locate the right environment. Okay. 3 things that can change your life. Number 1, right information. Number 2, the right people. Number 3, the right environment. If these 3 things are in place, everything about you will change for good.
Okay, Miss L, you see, you have to talk. Maybe you came from a very rich. You are talking to the world today. You're on TV, and the entire world is watching you. Maybe you come from a very rich family.
So talking about rich family, thing is
it the
really.
limousine that dropped you out there?
Should I say the car that drops me out down there? Okay. No, I'm not from a rich family. I think in our family there is actually nobody. Nobody. Yes. Although my father was trying to stand out, then along the line things just went. He fell. Maybe fell.
Because of your connections, they opened the doors for you to come and talk on TV.
Not quite about connections. Like what Mr. Teke said, that it's about getting out there, stepping out. When your mind is ready to achieve success, it has a way, it sends information to your body. Your body begins to work according to what your thoughts are given to you. And at the moment you start stepping out, there is no way you can lose opportunities. You always identify opportunities. And sometimes these opportunities, you even identify them unconsciously because it's just what has been so much in your thought pattern. And they begin to form the realities around you. So if we want to look at the aspect of background, see, our background has a vital role it plays, but it's just two things. It's either it pulls you back or it pushes you in front. It depends on you, the person in the picture. How do you see the picture? It's either you get angry and change the situation, or you get angry and stay in the situation. So if you think that it's more of somebody has to leave something for you, nobody owes you nothing. Nobody owes you nothing. It's you who has to take that decision. You have to make those bold steps. I always used to use this example when I left secondary school, about to go to the university. That was about the time my father's business crashed. And so we had to choose. We had the family meeting and they had to choose, like, okay, so who is going to school this year? Who is waiting behind? And now, since my elder sister had difficulties passing the advanced level, and that year she just succeeded. So I was like, she has really been strong with advanced level. Me, I just came and I passed. At least let her go ahead. When I made that decision, I remember one of my friends told me that she asked me a question, when I took in a one life, that's what she asked me. Like in a funny something, she just said it like a joke, that when I took in a one life and it passed. When I sat and thought about it, I was like, okay, if my parents cannot fund the both of us now, then I should look for a means. I always use this example because the steps I took that time, till today my mom used to tell me that if you had not taken those steps, you could have stayed, finally you could have remained in the house. Because I left the house, called for somebody and told the person that, lend me money to go to school. And the man was looking at me like, how will you pay me back? I was like, give me the money, I'll pay you back. And that was how I had to fund my education, went to the university, moved from step to step. I might not want to tell the story, but just move up to this stage that I am in right now. So it's nothing about your background. It's more about you, your determination. What do you want for yourself? Our family backgrounds have a way of always, it gives you a picture of who you should be. When you're born into any family, it just tells you who you should look like first. You're the one who accepts it, if you want to be like that or not. You were born into a rich family, it's all good. But you might just want to live a flamboyant life, a luxurious life, so much so that you will not plan for your future. Someone can be born into a poor family. The family already tells you that in this family it's like this. So you should just know that this is how it works. I remember my mom used to say that when they were growing up, her father used to tell them that he does not like his children working under the government.
Your auntie sells fish.
Yes, everybody.
They will put you into fish business and everybody. Yeah.
Yes, she said they had that mindset, like, let's just live when you're poor, you're peaceful. So everybody should just be peaceful, and being peaceful means you should be poor. And so she said it was her elder brother who took the challenge. He's actually of late now. He took the challenge and decided to force himself through school. And as he started going ahead and getting so much information, coming back to the family, he comes with a different mindset and he starts challenging everybody's mind.
Like Mr.
Yes, like what he's doing. Yes, he finally succeeded in challenging everybody's mindset, so much so that everybody in their house built a career on their own. This one is an accountant, this one is a doctor. Everybody tried to have something that they were doing. But if somebody had not taken the decision to step out and come back with another information, then it could have ended like that.
Yes, to say that we need to take that step of faith is true. I remember that there is somebody who has been watching us from Yaoundé. He is a retired adjudant chef who admires what we are doing. He has such. He called me from Yaoundé and said, I like what you are doing. Can I come over? He was here. He's going to be passing on programs subsequently. He was here. I gave him the opportunity. I interviewed him. Last week, I sat down there and one pa came from Bamenda, said, Mr. Akum, I come up Bamenda, we can't see you. We spoke, and I told him, can I interview you? And we had an elaborate program with him. I'm sure by next week he's going to be on air. They saw it and they called and they made that move. They came here. I'm sure this week 3 persons came from Yaoundé, Bamenda, Boya, and they met me and they are going to be talking on TV next week. But there are persons who, I'm sure, yes.
I think that's exactly what we are talking about. You ignoring where you are, ignoring your background, and focusing on where you want to go to. Because when people see other people on the TV, they just think that it has been enhanced by something for them to appear there. Ignoring, there's something that people don't check you when you are broke. They don't check you when you are a nobody. But when you start showing on screen, where you start dressing well, they start questioning, how did he arrive there? Of which I usually say we all have the same opportunities because we have 24 hours a day, and that is awarded to everybody. Growing up, I did not want that question that we ask, because in my village they describe you depending on your father, like you be who you picking. I hated that question. I hated it. Why? Because the young man died when I was 7 months in my mother's womb. I came out and knew nothing about the guy. My mom had issues with my uncles and ran from where we were born. So I did not have any trace about my background and stuff like that. So asking me who my father was meant that you were trying to tell me I was a nobody. You always remind me of who I was, of which I was a nobody. You understand? At one point in time I said no. If I'm identifying a nobody, I want one day my kids should not be identified by like a nobody, or people should not want to know me by knowing my parents or my background. They should know me for who I am. And it prompted me to start doing one or two things. I mean, these people I'm sharing this panel with, I've not known them for the past 5 years. I think I knew Boji first in 2019, January. I knew Lonarika, and then I knew Mr. Teke here. Because at one point in time, I said, no, I need to go somewhere, and I lack knowledge. And I started moving in search of knowledge from one place to another. So when I went there, I met people who were searching for knowledge too. And I met Mr. Buji. I kept searching for knowledge. I met Lonarika on an online class where we were learning together. I moved to Boya, I met her. And with time, things have been occurring, and we are here today. So, and that's the same with those who moved from Yaoundé, from Bamenda to come and meet you.
So the opportunities are there
so
for
many.
all of us. You just need to take a step of faith. It's Jesus who says that I am at your door knocking now. And he also says that you should ask and it shall be given. You should seek and you should find, because if you don't ask, you will not have. If you don't find, you will not you will not see. And it's true. So if you sit down there complaining every day that I no get connection, will be me, my partner. Okay. And please, with what Mr. Teke said, because I said the same thing when I discovered that he was CEO of Tex. Yes, he thought that you were just there now. If you go ahead. He was, because he was my small in secondary school, but now it has moved me and make me to open my mind into business, into the business world. Okay, Mr. Teke. Good evening, Mr. Liu and panel members. Interesting topic here. Please, Mr. Liu, tell Mr. Teke to say a word that can change the mindset of teachers in Cameroon. Okay, most kindergarten and primary teachers in the private sector find it difficult to cope with life after June, because schools in private sectors don't pay salaries to teachers. Some teachers go hungry, refuse to innovate, saying they are not good in businesses. Technology built up by September. If you see them, oh la la. Mr. Teke, help the teachers.
Yes, we have to. Someone sent me a message today. One of the ladies that bought the billionaire mindset. So she's been reading it and met one of her relatives, her aunt, and then she was talking to the aunt, and the aunt said things are hard, things are difficult, and all of that. I said, okay, why not join my business? She's into sales. And the woman said, I cannot do anything outside preaching the gospel.
That's a fixed mindset.
That's a fixed mindset. And she was like, but you don't have money, you are complaining. I can't do anything. And she's broke, and she was advising this her little niece that, see, if you know that you want to succeed in life, just be preaching the gospel. And so this lady snapped a part of the billionaire mindset that I wrote. There's something I said. I made a statement. I said, whatever you are doing on earth, do it with the intention to help humanity, and you'll be fulfilled. And she screenshotted that, sent to me that this is what she told the sister. And the sister said, but she has to think about this. That she has never thought about this before. Because she told the sister that doing business, as long as you're affecting lives, that is ministry. And that's what I always tell people. I said, somebody said, are you a pastor and you're not preaching, you don't have a church? I said, no, what I'm doing is actually ministry. I run a ministry called Money Making Ministry, and it's helping people's lives. It's true. I go to churches and I meet pastors in their churches, they are building, and I give them money for building projects. That's ministry. So teachers, what are we supposed to do? The average Cameroonian teacher has an opportunity to make a lot of money. All they have to do is to move from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. A teacher who prefer to borrow 10 million and they'll spread it for 20 years for him to pay that money, and use the 10 million to go and build a house that will never even complete it. That's a fixed mindset. Because every average teacher knows that if I build my small house and marry my woman, that is all. Why not take this money and put it in a business and see how it runs? Every teacher that has been around me from 2017 till now, except the one that did not listen, their lives have changed. I have my cousin is a teacher. He teaches somewhere around Limbe. As I speak to you now, he has money. He has his own land. He's not thinking of how do I build the house, because he already has investments running for him. So if you have the opportunity to take a loan, why do you take a loan to build a house that you know? Because they will build and then leave halfway, stop halfway, go struggle to pay the debt they have borrowed, and then take another loan again. So for 40 years of their lives, they'll be paying loan in the bank. Don't ever borrow money to build a house or to marry or to buy a land. It doesn't make sense. Or buy a car. It doesn't make sense. If you are taking a loan, take a loan when you have already prepared yourself for an investment opportunity. That's going to help you to raise a lot of money, pay back your loan, and you have a financially free life. So based on that request, I think I'm going to talk to my team. They should be able to fix up a training session. It might be online or offline. I'm going to have a training session with all the teachers that we can access. So after today, just send a message to the numbers you have on your screen. We're going to have an online training session or offline training session based on what they will decide. I'll have a meeting. I'll fix a training for all the teachers that we can access, telling them what they should do or how they can manage their salary, how they can save, how they can raise money for an investment, and even give them investment opportunities to change them, because these guys are doing a lot for us. What we are saying today, teachers actually helped package our lives together, and so they are not supposed to be going through what they are going through. So I will take that responsibility and see how I can help in my own way to give them the mental training they need.
Okay.
All the opportunities are available, but we will give them the mental training they need to put them at the point of their game where they should attain financial freedom.
Good evening to all in the studio. Mr. Teke, your words inspire me a lot. Thank you. Please, is there a way I can get to talk with you one-on-one on a financial counsel? Just call the numbers under your screen. You talk to Mr. Teke. It's free, you will not be asked to drop a is it a seat?
Seat. No, yes. No, don't drop seat, please.
One-on-one seat. You will not be asked that. Greetings, Mr. Liu. Thanks for the program. Just from hearing Mr. Teke's story and knowing Niba Paul so well, I strongly believe you must not be long before you can make it in this life. I strongly stand with Mr. Teke on his mindset definition. Maureen is writing from Bamenda. Good evening to you. Maureen, yes, it's true. This one says, I'm Paviet from Kumba. I really love Mr. Teke's program. It really teaches. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Liu. These speakers are too exaggerating their motivational talk. They always have a sad story to tell. Let them tell us the truth, how they got their capital. we are all living in Africa, and we know the system. Jackie is writing
Mr. Lucy
from Limbe. That's my
mindset.
Okay, thanks for the response. May God preserve you. Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Liu and crew. I'm Conrad, watching from Bamenda. I so much love this team. Mr. Teke, thumbs up. I just finished reading his book. Firstly, no grammatical error and so rich. In fact, I feel like flying already. Just trying to raise capital now, and the sky will be my limit. Okay. A fixed mindset is pessimistic, static, conservative in nature, not worth embracing, while a growth mindset is dynamic, positive, optimistic. The mindset I encourage most, especially youths of today, to embrace. Greetings to you, Mr. Liu, my bro Niba, and your crew of the evening. Nzirulan is writing from Bomenda. Yes, good evening, Mr. Liu and creating connections with people around you and increasing your network is the key to shifting from fixed to growth mindset. Alex is writing from Boya. Say hi to Mr. Teke and Tim. Good evening, Mr. Liu, Seniba Paul, Mr. Buji, Mr. L, Coach Teke. It's a privilege to learn again from you all. A perfect example of a growth mindset is what my Media Prime is doing to educate the population via their programs. Ngu Brice is writing from Douala. Thank you very much, Mr. Ngu, Mr. Liu, and the panelists. Greetings until the truth, sincerity. Okay, and this is not what this is not related to what we are talking about here. Wow. Good evening, Mr. Liu, Mr. Teke, and panelists. I feel so relaxed listening to you guys. Honestly, I'm so encouraged this evening, Mr. Teke. I would like to follow your teachings and make it too. Yes, call the numbers on your screen. You're going to hear from them. Mr. Liu, please tell Mr. Teke that we need his advice too. Not only teachers. Frank Moto is writing from K-Town. Good evening to you all in the studio. Boss T will organize a teachers conference in Dian for your presentation. Move on with your good works. Munimba will be glad to welcome you. Yes, I hope the boys will not disturb him, man. God bless you guys. Madam Gaka Rulitz writing there. Good evening to you, Madam Gaka. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I think successful people are people whose work is backed by grace. From my experience, most successful people think others can only become successful by using the routes they took. For me, I think the best advisors are people who failed so many times before succeeding. Yes, but that is also what we are talking about. Senior Lapena writing from Melon. Good evening, Mr. Liu. The problem is the educational system. If we were trained on how to have an entrepreneurial mindset from primary to secondary, we would be able to do much. However, the government policies are not geared towards that direction. However, I do have a firm conviction the government policies are not geared towards that direction. However, I do have a firm conviction there is a solution to every problem. Zin is writing from Boya. Yes, somebody says that you guys need to tell them how you made it, but I'm sure I'm sure you said it already how you got into the university.
Yes,
they say because we know how the system works. Is that not also that mindset?
It's
the system.
That's what we're trying to fight here. That mindset, because when you say you know how the system works, it means it's static. It's like there is already a definition you have in mind. But trust me, there is no term that has one definition. Every person that comes looks at the word in its term, fits it in a sentence, and gives a different definition to that word. So when you come and then you meet a particular ideology that is, or a mindset that is running all about, it does not make it right. The fact that you see it happen does not mean it can happen with you. If you are, it can actually change when it concerns you if you're willing to make it change. If we're talking about this aspect of motivational speaking, I think Mr. Dege would really want him to say something about the aspect of motivational speaking, because I remember one time I asked him a question like that, and he explained something about motivational speakers that it got a hold of me. I was like, this is what people have to hear when it concerns the definition of a motivational speaker. Well, all these things was saying, see, it's not to flatter you. Because of this program now in Mutengene, I used to tell people that I'm the mayor. That's why I used to tell people I don't laugh. I'm the mayor of Mutengene. Now, because I went to school there, and while we're growing up, normally we know that in Mutengene, yes, it's difficult to actually. Nothing good can come from Mutengene. Yes.
Okay.
So
to make the sister actually believe that it's not part of the system, Miss L is a charm girl.
Full time.
But she's here educating the world from charm. I did not know her, but she's here talking.
Yes. Now look at it.
Your parents are in Mutengene?
My parents are there now. Now as I'm talking, my parents are in Mutengene. A lot of persons know me in Mutengene, right from secondary school days. So even because of this program, some who watch it, when they see me in Mutengene, anytime I'm just around the road or somewhere, they're like, "Hey, Miss L, like, Mama, what happened? Like, you just woke up, we're not seeing you. After some time we'll see you on TV." And I'll just laugh. So we are pushing, and it ends there like that. Now, just because of that, you hear old mothers will be like, I remember there's one mama who used to tell me, "I'm waiting for you, just come and, this thing you're saying on TV, just come and sit, and then let's talk about it," and all the like. Okay, if you want to look at all of these things, these people, they know, like, if you don't want to lie, I don't know how to lie, because they watch me grow in the town. If we want to look at the aspect where we say we are not saying the truth about our story, see, nobody can literally lie when it consistent. Yes, you cannot lie like that. This particular story about me going to university, I say it everywhere.
Yeah, but Mr. Teke,
everywhere.
Tell them where your village.
Mr. Teke, I don't know.
See, you went to your village is in Diana.
Yes.
You went to Nigeria. You suffered.
There's nobody that the people that come around me when they see me, they're like, is this? They call me Mola in my village. That's what they call my namesake's a Bakwarian. So everybody in a Kombe Lengo in Bamuso subdivision in Dian division in Southwest region. That's where I'm from. They call me Mola. Everybody knows me. So now when they see me, it's like, Namola this. Say, how you don't change so for me? You put that there. Because I trekked to school, they know me. Everybody knows they know where I'm coming from. I trekked to school, I was going to secondary, I owe fees. Most of the schools I went to, I didn't pay fees complete. I was always owing fee. Sometimes I don't write exams because there is no fee to pay. At the time I was staying with one of my aunts that stays at Ekombe Bonji, 3 corners Ekombe. I would trek from 3 corners Ekombe to Kombone Mission to go to school, MCHS. I have some classmates they can know. I would trek from that place every day to and fro when I was in Form 3 There was no money to pay school fees, no money for transport. If I come back, I have to go to my aunt's farm to work. Then I come back in the evening for I can have food too.
Yeah, but that is what happened. Maybe they want to know how. Maybe somebody in the system. Maybe you are in the CPDM. Maybe
I didn't even live my life in Cameroon. So after my advanced level and things happened, then I traveled. I came back, struggled, did what I did, and then God helped me out. I've hawked. Like I have sold a lot of things. I have hawked cream, I have hawked lotion, I have hawked cosmetics, I have carried things on my head to sell. I have taught as I've taught as a French teacher. See, I traveled to Nigeria and life was difficult. I slept in one little room like that, 8 guys in one small room. When it's 6 p.m., you have to rush to the room to fix a place in the mattress, because if you're late, you come back, you have to lie down on the floor. And the rug, this kind of rug in that floor has stayed for years. If you lie down and wake up and you mistakenly turn and your feet's on the floor, you wake up the next morning, you must have catarrh. There's no two ways about it. I grew up in that kind of environment. In Port Harcourt, I was struggling to survive. Now, I was figuring out what am I supposed to do. And now saw it that Nigeria is trying to learn French, because we have a lot of foreign investors coming in. But I'm from Cameroon. I know I don't know French, but I have that blood in me. So I decided to start teaching French. I will go on YouTube, I will learn pronunciation and all of those things, and I started making money. I even went as far as writing a French book, and I made a lot of money. I had to now send myself to school. I went to Alliance Française. I had to learn French. I came to Cameroon, started learning French, started making inquiries, started doing French online. I did not only stop there. When I started growing the business, I started recruiting other French teachers from Cameroon. I'll send them to schools, take contract. They will pay me, then I pay them in turn. So it's a growth mindset. I wasn't fixed at my misfortune. I grew because I was challenged by my environment and by my condition. So there is nothing like we know the system. Nobody knows the system. See, one man's action in the world has the capacity or the power to change the entire world. Yeah. My action to be angry with my condition has changed the world of over 10,000 people in the world today. America, Japan, Germany, Dubai, Africa, they are all benefiting from my idea because I was angry with what I was going through. So you cannot tell me you know the system. I've been there. If you talk about suffering, I know what suffering looks like. If you talk about failure in business, I know what it looks like. If you talk about disappointment, I know what it looks like. I have opened a business, created for someone, the person was running the business, ate the whole money, disappeared. And I came back. I have given someone money to do business in Malabo. He traveled till today, I have not seen him. I have given my car on credit, and I was working on food, and I was paying debt, and someone ran away with the money. So you can't tell about suffering. I know it all. The only thing I say every time I talk is this: thank God that I went through a lot of things earlier. God taught me my own lesson on time. I didn't study pass through those things at old age.
Greetings to the crew in the house. My name is Frank, writing from Manfi. Actually, the problem with a lot of people today is because they don't want to work, and some of them are very lazy, because I see no reason why some people will leave this country where there are lots of opportunities to make money. I, for one, be honest with you, I served my master for 10 whole years. I was being settled in 2016. Today, I am a master of 3 businesses. I bought plots. I have a building that belongs to me. I love your program. Thank you. Yes, these are the mindsets.
Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Kabila Bright, watching from Dubai, United Arab Emirates. I want to say a very big thank you to my Media Prime for this amazing program. It's an eye-opener to youth all over the world. I always follow it and I learn a lot from it. Shout out to Mr. Teke, senior coach, Buji, and the rest of their team. May God bless you all for being an inspiration to this generation. Thank you very, very much. Good evening, Mr. Liu, Mr. Tekan, Mr. Buji, Mr. Niba, and Ma'am Lorna. Thanks for transforming this generation's way of perceiving life's situations. A man is truly the architect of his life if he gets in contact with a spark of the right information and goes for additional knowledge while giving himself an opportunity to new knowledge. I, for one, I believe I can be anything I want to be, and I am an unlimited human moving on the earth. All thanks to great minds like yours. Prince Tawa Edi is writing from Limbe. This one says, good evening to you all in the studio. Boss T, will organize teachers conference. Okay. Moni Daniel is writing from Mundeba. He says he's going to organize something. Good evening, Mr. Liu and panel Mola Ikema writing from Paris. Can I have Mr. Teke's number? The number is on your screen. Please, you can just get it. Good evening to you, Mr. Liu and panelists. Let the infinite spirit be with you all. Amen. Please text global. What about the text money loan scheme? Ngala Divine is writing from Boya. Okay, I may also be interested in the loan scheme. Good evening to you in the studio. When we are talking of peace, I beg to say government. Okay, no. Good evening to you in the studio, and especially to Mr. Teke. I love people like him who can educate and bring out the real person in. A person, in fact, youth needs to connect with people like Mr. Teke. God bless his works. Aso is writing from Boya. Good evening to you all. Mr. Teke is indeed a financial evangelist. I don't regret joining his platform. Okole Shela is writing from Douala. This one says, no, even a seminar in Bamenda. But something was organized in Bamenda recently. Last Sunday. Text Global is in Bamenda, but unfortunately we did not talk about it on Friday. But we think that something bigger, a mega something is coming your way in Bamenda. Text Global is organizing something that will be done in Bamenda. Somebody says, but why are you limiting to the southwest? It is just recent that people here in Bamenda have started talking about Text Global. Please try to create a seminar in the northwest. Tila, again, this is another person. Yes, there was a seminar last week in Bamenda, but another seminar is being planned for that. Now, Mr. Buji, one of the things, that is limiting people on a particular spot is that I must be doctor. I must get first degree before I succeed. I must get masters before I succeed. I must go school. Certificate oriented.
Exactly. Certificates. I watched a topic from Kmer who says she actually made a YouTube video on is your certificate holding you back? So I was like, what is this lady talking about? But when I went through her video, I realized that she had a lot of information. There's some people you think because you're a doctor, you cannot doctor maybe anthropology, sociology, you cannot do anything any longer. Before I say this, let me I want to say a word concerning the people who think if you see us doing what we do today is because we have some people behind us. For instance, in 2011, when I was due to go to the university, I went down to Yaoundé to actually enroll. When I went there, I was with my elder brother. So I decided, when I look at him and his children, I said, but I cannot be a burden to this. I cannot be a burden to this man again. I have to do something about my life. I called my dad. I told him, Daddy, I don't want to study history again. I think I want to do ICT because I'm seeing that the world is changing towards that direction. The old man told me, see, son, I'm going on retirement, so the little money I have, I'm planning for my retirement with it. So I said, okay, now let me forget about this certificate and do something with my life. That is when I decided to learn secretarial duties. That's when I decided to learn secretarial duties. But before that, I was also doing, I still had this mindset that I needed a job from the government. Only the government could do that. I wrote the police, I wrote the ENS, I wrote custom, I wrote police about the officer and the normal police. So unfortunately, or fortunately for me, as I will say today, I failed all of them. Not because I was not intelligent, because if you go through my records, my classmates would testify when I was in GBHS NDOP that normally I obviously range amongst the top 3 in class. So it was not about that, but I still thought that there was something that I could do. I have to shift from the government mentality, from the job mindset to do something. Then I started learning some skills. After secretarial duties, unfortunately for me, I had a job when I did not yet graduate to work with teacher training. still there, I was not still fulfilled because I realized that I could do a lot of things. I was acquiring skills. I had to go back to school to go and do my computer engineering. And still yet, I just 3 months to my graduation, that's when this crisis started. I said, okay, I have already had the skills, so I had to move on. I got into marketing with a dynamic mindset to grow. I went into marketing. That's when I started doing multi-level marketing. Yet I could sell anything. I realized I had the one skill that every human being needs now is to be able to sell something. No matter what you produce, you have to be able to sell something. So it so happened that at one time I was even selling the billionaire mindset. I did not know the author. The first day I met Mr. Teke in that was in Changemaker Summit in here in Douala. So I was like, this is the author of the. I thought the man was one white man who sold the book, who wrote the book, because I could not imagine. Still, my mind said, when I read the book, I did not see it being written by a Cameroonian. So it still tells us that we don't even believe in ourselves. We don't believe in the products of this country.
Yeah. So we should not say that we can only succeed because we must have certificates or degrees. Yeah.
Of course, that is not the case. If it was about certificates and degrees, then I will not be here, because I've had Tex Global is my 11th stop when it comes to working. Yeah, and nobody has ever asked me for which certificate. You can ask him. Did you ask me?
I don't know whether people are asking what certificate people like late photo Victor, Kaji de photo, people like Njefobi. I don't know what certificates they have. Yeah. So I think we should learn from our community. Yeah.
Peace is not certificate, it's certificate. What do you know that can put food on your table and change your environment? The issue is me first. What can I use my hands to do? What can I use my mind to do? Because the educational system gives us memorized education. So they just teach you how to go to school, learn history, memorize it, come back. That's why the average intellectual in Cameroon is a teacher. Because the school teaches you this thing you're learning, go back, go and teach the same way. But if you truly have to make influence, you must grow beyond that. You must figure out, what can my hands do? God never gave anybody education. God gave everybody a skill, and that is what we should be able to leverage from. He told Moses, what do you have in your hand? After going to school and having PhD, come back, ask yourself, what do I have in my hand? Like the same standard, but I wrote it, he said, if you want to know how bad your certificate is, take it to the bank and tell the bank you want to take a loan and give that certificate as collateral, and see if the bank will give you money. Because if the bank cannot give you money for your certificate as collateral, then it's useless. But does it mean school is not good? It is. It helps us, it gives us a blueprint of what we should follow. But then we need to figure out, I always say this, if you're going to school, have it at the back of your mind that I'm going to school to create jobs, not to look for a job. Okay. If you have that at the back of your mind, it's going to change the way you see certificates.
Okay. Good evening to you all, Mr. Liu. I like the way that lady beside you talks, just exactly like my big sister. Is Nelly, writing from Chang. Okay, Nelly, maybe she's also a big sister. Wow. Good evening, guys. I love your program. Should call this career guide award. Keep it up. How to meet you someday. Malam Gambo is writing from Suza. Shalom. Good evening to all of you watching us from Suza, not far from here. Jarvis writing from Yaoundé says, good evening to you all there. And I thank you all for the important messages. Mr. Liu, good evening to you all in the studio. I like the program, which is really teaching and encouraging the masses. Alphonse is writing from Bankim. Okay, good evening to you, Alphonse. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please read out the number. It's not clear on my TV. I'm Raphael, writing from Limbe. Raphael, the number is 676-220-967. I will take it all over. 676-220-967. That is the number. Call that number. You're going to be attended to. This one says, wow, Mr. Teke, good evening to you all. I'm so inspired listening to you guys. Okay, Desmond is writing from Boya. Hello, Mr. Liu. I'm happy to have listened to this magazine, though I came late. I would really love Mr. Teke to give us more advice on how to grow financially, because self-employment is now the key. Thank you. Madame Mituge is writing from Kong Samba. Marie, writing from Moliko Ndongo, says, good evening to you in the studio. I love your program a lot. I wish I could listen to it every day. It will help me a lot with the kind of mindset I have now. Thanks to you people for the impact. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Thanks for the program. I am a keen follower of your program. Tell Mr. Teke I will provide insurance service for their business. Thank Yaje is writing from Kumba. I don't know what he means by that, but another fixed mindset is everybody wants to have a magical number, the sure guarantee for success, and yes, it's a magical syndrome.
Yes. I think that's what prompted Mr. Buji to write the Konku 5 times. he needed a guarantee. Of course. You need a guarantee. You tried.
There are people 30 times.
Yeah. You know, we so much want certainty. You know, we want assurance. We don't want tomorrow to find ourselves wanting. We just want a stable life. You know, we want to be able to eat, to be able to have shelter, to be able to clothe ourselves, which is not bad though. But we can actually go beyond that. We have the abilities. The government cannot employ everybody. That's the first thing we as young Cameroonians we should know. The government cannot employ everybody. If you look at developed countries, those who are making it big are not those who are working in the government. We as individuals, we have the abilities to create wealth within ourselves and live a better life than those who are earning a salary. We want assurance, of which life itself has no assurance. The fact that we are seated here today doesn't mean that when we step out we'll be able to reach downstairs. This building can collapse on us and we end here, God forbid. But so we're so much hunting for assurance. Why? That's a huge limitation. Why? Because we don't know who we are. We don't know what we are capable of doing. I always like to refer back to God. You know, He worked for 6 days and rested on the 7th day. And to me, I've never seen where He worked again. It means that He had already set every principle, and if we can align with the principles that He has set, we can be able to get anything we want out of life. But it's rather unfortunate that we want to act in a particular way because we grew up and saw it that way, and it has become a routine. That okay, since this family, you know, where I grew up, it was like every family had a civil servant, and if a family has no civil servant, it's as if that family is a broke family, you know. So in every family, they're doing everything possible. They'll gather every resources. They'll even sell landed property, which is gold in that family, instead to go and bribe for an individual from that family to get a matricle. Getting a matricle, serving in the government is not a problem. But looking at it to be the ultimate source of sustaining you like a human being, like a Cameroonian, that's where the problem is. Because it limits you from exploiting the other skills that you have, exploring the other resources that are in your community that you can exploit to be able to provide goods and services to people in your community and make a living for yourself. So getting that matricle to itself on its own is not a problem. But looking at it like a life source, like I don't know, a life jacket in a deep sea where you can survive on to make it through life, that's where the big problem is. And from the comments you are reading, I can deduce one major problem that we have in Cameroon. When you know somebody, it becomes a problem instead. Like I know who psycho enough we make up. We look at people and we attribute limitations to their life, and when they beat our imaginations, when they beat our limitations because of the efforts they are making, we start suspecting them. These guys did not, you know. Instead, people are listening to us. Something happened yesterday. My nephew who ran away from the house, I was staying with him here in Douala. He ran away from the house for about 6 months. He came to the house yesterday, and he has been contributing to our family in Jangi. So his money, the day he was benefiting, he did not show up. The money was with me. I told him, okay, I benefited your money, I want to give you. He said, no, uncle. I've been watching you on TV. One time you told me that you wanted me to open an account. On Monday, we'll go and open that account. They have been saying something about one investment. I think I should save my money and invest it. I'm looking at the way my father is. I don't want to be like that. That's somebody I've been advising and he has not been getting. But he has watched us on TV and is changing his mindset. I think that's what Cameroonians should be looking at. This thing that people are saying, what is the possibility of me shifting and looking in their direction? Can it actually work? You should not. We're talking about the fixed and growth mindset here. Maybe you have been on that growth mind, that fixed mindset for some time, and it has not been given for you. Why hold on to it when it's not given?
Okay, Kombe Fred writing from Bamenda says, once you are addicted to poverty, riches appears to be a kind of mysticism to you. So poverty-stricken minds need a psychological revolution. Yes, I think he's saying something. Good evening, doctor. I'm suffering. No. There's no doctor on this platform. Good evening, all. I really thank God for this program, for I am an example of this program that have traveled out of the country and came back empty because I was duped out of the country. But what can I do now to meet up with the society? My name is Gerard Fomanka. I'm writing from Bangem. Good evening to you. Good evening to you all. I love the program. It is a teaching. But now talking about Cameroon, what about people who have the money to commence a business and the tax is there staring at them? I think that is also a mindset in the face, ready to take half of their capital. Will you also say they have a bad mindset because it's reality? Our tax system is not friendly. Leslie Manjo writing from Boya. It's a mindset. Leslie, sorry to say so, because others are making it now. They're doing business with the same tax system.
The tax system can take more than what you declare, except in some cases. But on a real case, you go to the taxation, you make your declarations, you pay your tax based on what you have declared. There's no way you can have 1 million to start a business and the tax system, taxation will collect 600,000 from you. They don't force to collect money from you. I don't know where we're getting certain things, but I think we should have to go back to those institutions and find out what's actually happening, how things can be done and how they're being done right. Because most people just assume that tax system is terrible, and so even someone with 300,000 is complaining about tax system. It doesn't work that way. Let's go back to those places and find. Somebody told me, said, if you're coming to the taxation, don't come with a lawyer. If they come yourself, we'll tell you the things you need to know. Because most of these lawyers will even have their way of manipulating you and making you look as if the taxation is very terrible.
Good evening to you in the studio. I love the program. Thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I really love the program. How can one meet Mr. Teke? Benis is writing from Yupwe. Call the number under your screen. You meet Mr. Teke. Greetings to all. All must accept with me that our condition is not and will never be our conclusion. Youth must be positive. We can all be better if we hope and work hard with talents from God. Ernest is writing from Boya. This one, Mr. Teke is just wow. I greet you all. Mr. Teke portrays an example of humble beginning. He is a gentle machine for this generation. The government needs to use him to change youths, not for politics. Okay, Governor, thank you for that message. Hi guys, I'm Ewi Godson from Douala. I really love the program. Keep on God's good work and be blessed. Thank you. Amen. So that we need blessings here. Yes, good evening, Mr. Liu, and to the Tex Global team. Please, I wish to ask Mr. Teke whether Tex Breed has gone operational longer. Elvis is writing from Boya. Good evening to you all in the studio, Mr. Teke. I'm really inspired by your words. After watching this program 2 months ago, I left Kumba to Douala to see Mr. Teke. When I entered his office and demanded to meet him, his secretary laughed in amazement as if I wanted to see Jesus and instead took me to Mr. Budi. Mr. Teke, please, how much can one pay to meet you? I'm Godi Ebo, writing from Kumba. Yeah, but Mr. Teke does not work in Douala now. No, it's Mr. Buji who is in Douala. So if you want to see Mr. Teke, he's in Boya, right?
If you see Mr. Buji, you see me. Just tell him you want to see me and I will be available. I can bring you to me.
No, you don't need to pay, please. Now, how to develop the growth mindset? No, it's you who has to talk now. You just spoke now.
Okay.
Yes. He said that we must see every challenge as an opportunity. So all of you who are facing challenges, wherever you are watching from Jumbi, from Loom, from Bomenda, from Kumbu, people watch from somebody called me from Vomeka today.
Okay.
Yes, he was complaining that our images disappeared for the past 1 week. So they watch us almost everywhere.
Wow.
Now, yes. So everybody is faced with challenges.
Sure.
But the message or the good news, the gospel is that they should use these challenges as opportunities.
Okay, so it's very important when the very fact that you have a challenge, it's a pointer that you have the solution to that challenge.
Mm-hmm.
According to the Holy Book, God will not give you any challenge that is bigger than you. So any challenge you are facing is a pointer that God wants to use you as an example to solve the problem for yourself and to solve for others who are going to face that kind of challenge too. So see your problem as an opportunity for growth. The way I define problem is an opportunity to grow or opportunity to increase. So when you have a challenge, don't concentrate on what the challenge will bring to you. Concentrate on why the challenge came to you at the first place. When you start answering the question why, it gives you a broader mind to start thinking of a solution. So the problem is most human beings start thinking of what instead of thinking of why. So if something happens, is what happened? What happened? So you're looking for who to blame and all of that. But thinking of why did this thing happen to me? The universe will give you a solution immediately and you start solving the problems. Number two, you can also decide to give yourself to more learning. More learning doesn't mean you should go to school. Just figure out this in the scripture. The Bible said there's no problem, there's no new thing under the sun. He said the thing that is a thing that has been, and the one that will be is one that's already existed. So anything that's going to come before you had already existed. So the problem you are going through, has someone been through it before? If yes, did they solve it? Did it kill them? If it killed everybody that it met, it means just surrender, you're going to die. But if someone went through it and survived, then you too can also survive. So what are you supposed to do? Figure out what did they do that they went through and they scaled out of that problem. Start doing what they are doing. The best way to scale out of life is to kill yourself first. That's what I always say. You have to sacrifice to a level where it looks like you are going to die. Until you are dead, you can never live. So people don't live because they are afraid of death. So kill yourself, make a lot of sacrifices, learn, make new friends, gather new information, change your environment if you have to, for you to be able to shift from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Very important. Always see your problem as a stepping stone to another level. Because the moment you solve that problem, you are going to a new brand new. And if you decide to stay there and cry, you will remain with your tears. If you decide to make a change and pick a solution, God will always bring people who will help you out. The only time the universe start responding to you is when they see your inner action to make a change.
Miss L, there is this dependence syndrome. My brother then they for bush. Yes, you once they send 100,000, it's done. You call uncle, you call auntie, you call this, and we are looking at that is a challenge and an opportunity. Is it also an opportunity for you to see the need to also start meeting other needs, and by so doing, pushing yourself to walk out of, because that is your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Pushing yourself out of that position of always receiving and then playing the role of the giver.
Okay, I will start by saying this. You don't make money by receiving gifts from people. Nobody has actually ever made money by receiving gifts. Nobody. Now it's more about what you can put in. A lot of us want to just stay at the point where they pave the way where the river is flowing. They want to stand at one point where we can just be carrying, and then nobody is thinking of who is actually at the forefront doing the work, and you are down there receiving, just carrying the water that you're carrying. Now as it stands, it's good, it's okay to have our friends, our brothers who are out of the country and they're giving us money and all the like, but trust me, this thing is two-way. It affects not just you, it affects even the person who is out of the country, who is giving you this money. It affects them. I think there are so many of them out there that are suffering from depression because of their family members who are constantly asking for things that don't exist. That's my point. They make demands for things that don't exist, and we don't know the stress that they are going through. We don't know the pain that they are going through. It's okay to receive gifts, all right, but put yourself in a position where you can also be able to give. If the Bible is talking about the person who is more blessed is the one who is giving, then why don't you put yourself at a position where you are giving to others? See, there is a satisfaction that comes. There's a satisfaction that comes when you give to people. When people give to you, they are teaching you how to give. When people give to you, they are teaching you how to give. I'll use a practical example. When I used to be in the university, I had one family that once in a while they'll call me up and then give me something. And then one time, the man looked at me and said, he's in Nigeria, and looked at me and said, do you know I'm giving this thing I'm giving you? I said, no, sir. Because I'm teaching you that when you make money, you should give to others, because there'll be some people in school that will have this same point that you're facing now, and you should be at the point where you should be able to give them. And then he will tell me that you have to make sure you're at the point where you can give them, meaning that you have to work. Yeah. That he's giving me, he's not giving me his capital, he's giving me his abundance. That was to tell me that I'm giving you the leftover, the one that is there. This one I'm giving is not even my capital. So you have to get to the point where you will work and be able to empower another person. See, if you keep receiving and receiving from people, you end up being broke, and you finish even the one of the person you finish the one of the person who has even been giving you. And that's the highest cause of depression for most of our brothers who are out of the country. So many demands that family members are making. Why don't you get to the position where you can be able to give? When you have the mindset or the mentality of having, there is a way the universe cannot deny things from you. If you keep saying I'm broke, you want to keep receiving and all the like. If you keep saying I'm broke, you remain broke. It's normal. Everything that will happen around you will be things that will make you to be broke. That's how it works. But if you keep saying I have, you keep working from a mindset of somebody who has already, somebody who has the conception or the perception that you can be able to give to another person. Now the universe makes things available such that you can be able to have. Now, if I have the desire to give somebody something, I might not have it now, but because I'm thinking about it so much, opportunities come my way that I'm able to have this money that I can be able to give to the persons that I wish I should give to. But if you say you are broke, every opportunity around you, everything that happens around you comes to the point where it keeps making you broke.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. It's Clotilde writing from Douala. I love the program, and thanks for the great words. I'm really inspired, and I'm taking a bold step. Like I announced on Monday, please, this is an opportunity to also advertise with my Media Prime. Don't stay behind thinking that it may be too expensive, you may not be able to do it. Please take that bold step and call me, and we are going to give you the opportunity to advertise with my Media Prime. And why not be a sponsor to either this program or any of our programs? And just call me after this. If you don't dare,
I has turned to a businessman.
Yes, don't stay behind. This is a platform that is that can take your product.
Thousands of people are watching this program.
Yes,
so, and if they see your product, then you are good to go.
So it's also an opportunity for those who want to sell their products. Somebody just sent me honey that we should help sell the honey. I don't know whether you can help them. You deal with honey?
Yeah, Mr. Buji is in charge of that, so
honey,
they can just contact the product there.
Okay, farm product. So the person who wrote to me about honey, can you just call the number under the screen? They will help you. Okay, I have to do business now. Good evening, Mr. Liu. We need to start from a solution standpoint and start working towards the problem, and not vice versa. Thank you. Zain is writing from Boya. Good evening to you, Zain. Good evening, Mr. Liu. He says, I love the program and thanks for the great words. I'm really inspired. I'm taking a bold step. Yes, you better take the bold and giant step. This one says, my sister, you said it all. Those of us out of the country are in hell with family members. Hope it is not a crime to say no. Mola Ekema is writing from out of the country. Yes, Asha, we understand. Hello, Mr. Leo. Good evening. This is Brandon from Finland. My regards to the panelists. I am always following your program. Tell Mr. Teke that he speaks about Cameroon as if Cameroon is in space. Many of us raised money and decided to come and invest in Cameroon. As I speak, all the businesses some of us started are shut down. People are complaining of there is no money. Mr. Teke doing business in space. Okay, he's asking whether you're doing... Brandon, Brandon has sent this message 10 times. So that I must read it. Brandon, yes.
Brandon can always write to us because we're still figuring out a way. I've had a lot of these complaints. People send their money to relatives opening business and cannot be well managed. So we are trying to create a forum where these people can fit in. So they can always write to those numbers and see how we can fit them into something, how their business can be well managed and they can actually enjoy the fruit of their labor.
Okay. Love the saying that our negative circumstances should create a positive impact in our mindset. Thanks for the incentive, bro. Tex Ebon Russell is writing from Limbe. Okay, good evening. I'm watching you from Denmark. Keep it up to help us change how we think. Thank you very much. Pastor Julius writing from Bumnebel says, hi, Mr. Leo. We don't certificate, but a change of mind. Said, I am a first school living, but I have farmhouse, plots, etc. Hard work pays. Okay, yes, that's what we are talking about. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Your panelists are so inspiring. I am in agriculture. Let your panelists give me the magic to enable me succeed. Mbak Kmer is writing from Bamenda. I'm sure they are also into heavy agriculture. Just get to them using the number. Good evening, Mr. Liu and all in the studio. Just want to appreciate Mr. Teke for his book. The Billionaire's Mindset has been a booster in my lifestyle. Simon, too, is writing from Kumba. Tell Mr. Teke to throw light on the tax loan scheme. Immaculate is writing from Boya. Immaculate, I'm also interested in that scheme. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm a keen listener of your program. Those guys are wonderful. I've gotten the number and will get to them. Danyang is writing from Kumba. Good evening, Roman. This is Edwin writing from Bamenda. Okay. Not easy there. Good evening. I am Adjutant Chef Tabot. I'm retired. Your program is very nice. I would like to have Mr. Teke's number. I would like to talk with him in person. Can you just write him using the numbers on your screen? Good evening, Mr. Leo, and to everyone in the studio. Just to remind, especially the lady, when you talk of borrowing money for education, it has to do with gender, because there is a string attached to that. It's Chuck Cornelius. Right. Hi, Mr. Leo. Good evening to everyone in the panel. Please, I wish to ask Mr. Teke, where is his head office in the southwest? I'm sure the head office should be in Boya. In Boya. Yes. Around Moki Garage. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I love the program. Please let Mr. Teke also organize a program in Santa Techi Paul, writing from Santa Council. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please, only people who are angry with their situation and want to change their situation will be able to listen to and acquire basic knowledge on the pathway to financial freedom. He's a role model. The wise one will listen and get in touch with him and his team. They have what it takes because they are not talking out of nothing. Kudos to you all in the studio, and especially to Mr. Teke. Keep enlightening us. Yes, Mr. Abuji. No. You, yes, is the most essential ingredient to the growth mindset. Also, education. That is, you must be ready to learn. You want to grow, you want to make money, but when you organize seminars, you are never there. You are on WhatsApp every day instead of going to Google to look at how to make money. Yes, you are only looking at status and commenting and insulting, and you are on TV instead of going to watch educative television stations, like watching this program. You are watching novellas, and is that not the core?
Education has a vital role. A vital role. One time we had a program where we were talking about human capital, the importance of human capital. When we're talking about education, don't get mixed up. We're not talking about you just sitting in a secular school setting, the normal school setting where you sit in school, going to secondary school. We're not talking about that, all right? Although it's a part of it, but we're saying that the real learning is more about information that can be able to boost your abilities, can be able to help you build your skills, and be able to help you convert those skills to profitable activities. All right. So education is very vital. If you want to be able to grow, you need to be informed. You need to know these processes, these things we are talking about. Like you watching us right now is you empowering yourself. This is an educative program, meaning that you have to get hold of any educative material that you can get hold of. Although you should be very selective as well, all right? Because not all informations are very profitable. You should be very selective. But let's not put our mind so much on pleasure. Don't put your mind so much on when you're on TV, like you're watching the TV. What do you watch? I personally have a problem with telenovelas. Like, I personally hate telenovelas.
Many persons are addicted, eh?
Yes.
Sure.
Even mothers.
In a day, you follow 3 or 4 series. You move from this to that, and before you know it, a day is wasted. The value for time. Yeah.
Really, a lot of persons. I discovered that this aspect of watching telenovelas is actually becoming something. It's creeping so much into our system that people are not taking note of. Even mothers, like I'm talking about aged people, when they sit in front of their televisions, all they want to focus on is telenovelas. Just change the program now, or change the station, and put anything educative. That's the moment everyone is leaving the living room, or somebody is sleeping, telling you that they don't want to check. Nobody wants to check magazines. Nobody wants to read newspapers. Even with your phone. You see, my father used to say something that the greatest mistake the white made was to create Google. That was the worst mistake they made, because that Google that is existing like that, it's enough to feed everybody. It's enough to inform everybody. Even if you cannot read and somebody search what you're looking for online, they can read it to you, and the knowledge sticks in your mind. But a lot of us, we're not even informed about apps that can empower us. You check people's phone now, either they're playing games, or they just have some funny things they do. Yes, TikTok. The latest one that's going on now is TikTok, that every lady wants to do. We're not saying that it's wrong. We're not saying that it's bad. It's like bad for you to that. No, we're saying that it's not productive. You get it?
It's bad.
It's bad.
You spend an entire day watching this, and
like
I'm very agitated with that. Where you say you are trying to caress it.
Okay, it's bad.
Yes, say it's bad. Say it the way it is.
Everybody on this platform says it's bad and accept it's bad.
See, Miss L. You see, media. It's a powerful tool.
Yeah.
From time immemorial. You see the Americans. We growing up watching American films, we knew that the Americans were the strongest. Why was it like that? Because no matter what we do, the Americans will always beat the Chinese. You know that? Beat the Russian. But that will always beat. That was the message they were passing through, and we grew up knowing that Americans were very strong. At one point in time, the Chinese caught it, and they were now showing that if you learn Tai Chi, you can beat everybody. Those guys are around here strolling in Aqua. We will see them, we believe that we will dare to beat us. Maybe those guys are there very weak, but they created that mental image that are very strong. You understand? Look, check our society today. Everything is about relationship.
Yeah.
Do you know that? Why? Telenovelas.
Of course.
Nigerian movies. Everything is about relationship. They see, oh, this person hurt me, I'm going to kill myself. You shoot yourself, I mean, a child of 16 years killed herself today in Douala, and somebody commented that telenovelas, and that's quite true. Those things, people see them and manifest them in real life, and the consequences are grievous. So when you start saying it's not bad, it's bad.
It's bad.
We have to watch what we consume, especially what we see. It sticks in our minds. And programs like this, that's why I applaud my Media Prime so much. Programs like this should be adopted like a national agenda for transformation.
Yeah.
Not something that people should be seeing, and because over time the multiplier effect is going to be very, very strong.
Yeah.
We have so many people who, okay, no, I'm doing my thing. Since I'm working my hands, my eyes are on the TV. What that information is, what the TV is sending to your mind, the way it will form and multiply, the way you manifest in the society will be terrible. This idea of telenovelas, Nigerian film, blah blah blah, switching from Indian film to Filipino film,
and it's addictive because it links from one series to the other.
And people will not want to miss them for whatever reason.
They will miss.
At this was finishing the next.
They will miss business rendezvous.
Yes.
They don't want to.
There's something I always say. All those people you watch on TV, they took their time. They had sleepless nights to act.
They're jobbing.
Yeah.
That's their own business. They're doing. Now, anytime what I always say is, when you sit down to watch those guys, you are putting money in their pocket. So what you should ask yourself is, who is watching you to put money in your pocket?
Yeah.
Or doing this program now is so educative, so powerful. Question: how many persons sit on their TV? They have their notes every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is what to do at my media prime. How many persons have it as a routine?
A routine.
Carry your note, your pen, sit down. While we are talking, you are taking down notes for those things that really affect you and start figuring out how to change. But nobody, some of them will just sit and cross their leg, and somebody just think, how to criticize what somebody has said. Our society can never change like that. Cameroon will never change like that until we decide to wipe and wash away that stupid mindset we have and decide to embrace the new things that 21st century require.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Teke. What can you do to improve on my small business? That is Mother Care business. It's Glory writing from Bamenda. Glory has sent a picture of the Mother Care. Call them, they will help you. That is why we parents have to know the kind of films their cultures has to watch. Frank is watching from Kumba. Yes, very true. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please ask Mr. Teke, how can we get the book Billionaire Mindset in Limbe? Desmond is writing from Limbe. The numbers are on your screen. Congratulations to you all, and thanks for empowering my mindset. Thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm Bogo Love from Bamenda. I love your program so much. I'm into printing and photography. Great. Hello, good evening to everyone. This is Gilbert from Bamenda. Good evening to you, Gilbert. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I think poverty depends on our mindset. Many people depend on the government, and the government can't employ everyone. So we need to change our mentality. Mr. Michael writing from Kumbu. Good evening to all of you watching us from the capital city of Bui Division. Good evening to you in the studio. Thank you for shaping the society. I'm Adunek writing from Limbe. I want to ask Mr. Teke, how can we get the book? Also, one thing that is killing our youth is because of cigarette addiction. Yes. Good evening to everyone in the studio. I wish all Cameroonian youths can listen to this program. It's just awesome. Thanks to this program, my mindset about getting a matricle as a means of survival has completely changed. Self-employment is just wonderful. Thanks again to you all. It's Seka writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and to you all. I'm blessed from Kribi. I am working in a company as a welder. I want to stop the work and go back to my hometown, Limbe, and work for myself. Please, I need advice of if what I want to do is good. Okay, just call us. We'll help you. I have it as a routine to watch my media prime, especially on Fridays. Okay, Alexa, good evening to you. Writing there from Boya. Good evening to the panel. Thanks to you people for what you are doing. I wish to know whether it's necessary to go to a school specialized in a particular domain in order to succeed in it. It's Solomon Kmer writing from Lohe Mungo Division. Good evening to you guys. Okay, Mr. Buji, one way to succeed is to use failures as classrooms, because many persons think that Mr. Teke, Miss L, and everybody talking here has never failed. But for everybody to know that the day you fail, you should sit down and learn from why you failed so that you can better it tomorrow.
Absolutely. The best way to succeed is to fail. Learn from your failures. And there is no way I can trust somebody who has never failed. That's one of the reasons why I work with Mr. Teke, because I realized that he suffered one of the biggest failures that a businessman can get into. He has lost millions, and he decided to create a solution to the problem of Cameroonians who lost money, especially in businesses, especially in investments as far as that is concerned. So that's when he created Text Global. So Text Global is a product from somebody who has failed and understood how bitter failure tests. We're not talking about failing, meaning losing maybe 1 or to 10 to 20 million. He has lost hundreds of millions in business, and that is why Text Global came about. So looking at that, I will say that failure is the best place you can learn from. I myself have failed woefully. I've failed in businesses. I've also lost money to Ponzi schemes when I had not acquired what I call financial intelligence. Today I teach financial intelligence. I teach finances, financial management. All those are lessons that I learned from failure. And there's one time in this country that I decided that I'm one of the young persons who has been given opportunity to travel multiple times. But I realized that I could stay in this country, make my mistake, learn from them earlier, and move on. And today, the opportunity that I also have, I share it with people, especially the persons who have gone abroad. I want to relate this to somebody who says what was promised him when he went there, he has not been able to achieve the promise of the greener pastures abroad. And this also goes to the people watching us out there. Recently, these travel opportunities, some of them are businesses that people just advertise. They make you to travel, they make their commissions, they don't care about you. When you are over there, that's when you face the true part of the story. And I've worked with some young persons abroad. There are some that actually come here and say, when you realize yourself that way, if you can save something, do it and look for an investment. Particularly, I have a very good plan that we've set up at Text Global, where though you are abroad, you can invest, grow your investment, and reach to a level that it can sustain you if you feel like coming back home, or you can be there while you have a backup home. So all those things are things that they are coming from the experience that we have had from failure, and we understood what it means to fail and what it means to succeed. So we don't talk like one of our listeners said, we are not talking for mid-air, we are practical guys. If you feel like you can make it in the agricultural sector, if you cannot go, if you have been attempting this and failing, then from what we have learned from our experiment for over 3 years now, we can also teach you with those things. That is what we do.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu and the entire crew in the studio. I'm Darcy Mandela's from Boya. Please, Mr. Liu, from which bookshop can I get the billionaire's mindset? Just call the number on your screen there. You get it. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I am a fervent listener to this program. I like to be a member of Text Global. Extend my greetings to the team on board. It's Oliver writing from Manfi. Oliver, call the number, please. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Is Cedric writing from Yaoundé. I really appreciate your program. Please, can I have Mr. Teke's number? It's on your screen. Just call the number. Good evening, everyone. I'm grateful with the program. Doc Armstrong writing from Mutengene. I think implementing meritocracy might also help to improve on our growth. Thanks. Yes. Mr. Teke, sorry for writing again. I sincerely also need that initiative on how to grow business. Desmond is writing from Boya Sandpits. Okay. Good evening to you all in the house. I'm really inspired this evening by your works. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Great job, Mr. Liu. Thanks to your panelist. Derek is writing from Douala. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I want to use this opportunity to greet the staff of Text Group of companies, especially Mr. Teke. Thank you, sir, for being an inspiration to most youths, both home and abroad. From Mrs. Teke Sheila. Okay. Is that madam?
Yes.
It's madam, eh?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Hello, madam. Greetings to everyone in the studio. I'm Fire Gideon Farmer. Gideon, salarization is the 21st century slavery. It is good to touch money for 366 days rather than touching money only 12 times within 366 days. Okay. Farmer Gideon is writing from Taku Indu subdivision, that is in Dungamantung. Yes. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and to you all in the house. I'm Sidoni from Kornoni. Here we produce more of maize, mainly for consuming as corn fufu. So how and what can be done to improve on this condition to raise income in this community? Can you just call Mr. Teke? I think there are companies that use maize in Douala. If they can produce them in large quantities, and you can okay, you buy maize.
It's yellow maize, yes.
Okay, so the people of Kornoni, they can organize themselves and engage in large scale maize farming, and there is market for it. Okay. Hello, Mr. Liu. Good evening to you in the studio. I really need to learn financial intelligence. I'm Livingston writing from Bamenda. Good evening to you, Livingston. Mr. Teke, one core aspect in building this growth mindset has to do with being dynamic, not static, not fixed to your idea. It must succeed this way. When you are venturing into either business or anything, you should make room for a plan A, B, C, D, and ready to embrace evolution, sir.
Yes, I like using the word flexibility. You always have to be flexible. In case it doesn't work this way, what else do I do? So that you don't get so myopic thinking it must be done this way, and if it's not done this way, then it's not working. You can always have bend, you can always have joint, you can always have midpoint somewhere where you want to fix things. So one of the best way to be able to develop a growth mindset is that you must be flexible. It's one of the truest character of a great leader. You have to be flexible, whether you like it or not. If you're not, it becomes difficult for you to actually make changes. This is because the world is changing, and the world will not stay at a particular point because of you. Things happen in the world is changing, years are passing, ages are going, centuries are passing, and you have to be flexible enough to meet up to the current changes. The way I put it, I said, we have to learn to match technology with innovation. If we do that, it's a perfect way to develop a growth mindset and actually match up as changes occurs. So you don't have to think that because I was taught in school like this, it has to follow this pattern, or because my parents said this, it has to follow this pattern. We have to know that changes occur, and we have to work with the changes that we see. Flexibility is the key to developing a growth mindset.
Okay, flexibility is the key to developing a growth mindset. Wherever you are watching us, I'm using this opportunity again to announce that you can use us to advertise. I think this is the best platform you can use to reach out to your clients. If you know you want to grow your business and your revenue, so you should not be contented to what you are making out there. You can make far bigger revenue from our expertise in advertising. It's too narrow to blame people of fixed mindsets without also looking at the governing institution or system which is necessary to be in place to help people grow. That is the mindset we want to get out of, because the government may not change for the next 50 years. What do? You wait until 60 years where we are in the graves to change. So you have to survive. Good evening, Mr. Liu and your panelists. What Mr. Teke talked about as teachers concerning loan is nothing but the truth. I will be the first person in the teachers seminar, no matter the form of registration. Thanks for Mr. Teke's an inspirational speaker. Sumbele Kelvin is writing from Kongsamba. Good evening, sir. I'm Charles from Yaoundé. No disrespect, sir. Just want to talk on the point of colleague of yours said that TikTok is bad. I believe in our society is full of unemployment, and we the youth have to look for other means to sustain us in our daily bread. And I believe TikTok is one of them because people have made lots of money. No, not from what they mean is using it negatively. It's like saying social media is bad. No, you use it positively. My take, you are not picking your call, Mr. Paul from Santa. We are on air. They cannot pick the call now. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I want to ask Mr. Teke why they are not in Adamawa region or northern part of the country. I'm Elvis, writing from Gaundar, Adamawa region. Okay, the development is coming your way. Good evening, sir. Inspired watching you guys. Neighbor Paul Azimi happens to be my schoolmate from secondary school right up to the university. I'm happy watching you guys for the first time. Mr. Teke, I'm overwhelmed seeing you as young as you are, but so inspiring in shaping the society. Courage to you guys. May I have Mr. Niba's number? Perhaps it will be of help. Mbo Oliver, writing from Bamenda. You know him? Okay. Greetings to you, Mr. Liu, and your vibrant crew. I am an addicted fan of your program. I will be glad to have you people discuss the place of Cameroonian films in Cameroon and their importance. I believe it will curb out Cameroonian addiction to foreign telenovelas. I am Titi from Bamenda. Kudos to you guys. I hope to be on your program someday and participate in some of these topical issues to build our society. Thanks. Okay, please, Titi, just call me, and if you are disposed, maybe next week you'll be here with us discussing. Yeah, we have an important educative topic, but when I look at the live view on Facebook as compared to other topics, I'm sad. Mola Kmer. Yes, it's true. Yes, if we were talking about resolution 1608, yes, everybody will be watching.
It's true.
Yes, sincerely, yes, almost everybody will be watching. We have hundreds of views. Yes. Hello to all. I'm Shuni Emmanuel in Marwa. I've always missed out on your seminars. Is there no way to organize one in Marwa or Garwa for those of us who are up this way? How can one have a copy of the book in Marwa? Yes, from Gaundal, they are going to Marwa. Good evening to you all. Your guests are just superb. Innocent Barozil, photo writing from Bonaberi in Douala here. They want you people all over the country. Good evening, Mr. Leo, and my regards to those in the studio. I'm Eddie from Douala. I just want to comment on the aspect of traveling abroad. Okay, that is not just about going to work for money, but to learn and acquire experience as well. As we shouldn't be stereotyped about that. Okay, you say God bless your programs. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, we will have to end at this juncture. Miss L, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, it's only my time. Okay, I should not end without giving this announcement. Okay. The first announcement is about TextBreed. Somebody asked about TextBreed. Yes, TextBreed is fully operational, and we'll be having a seminar on the 29th. That's this week that's coming up in Boya. The event will be communicated subsequently. We're going to have that seminar so we can give orientation on how the project funding will run, and we're looking forward to funding the first set of projects by the 12th of June. So you hurry up now, prepare your projects and join us. And to those who are seeking to have access to more mind empowerment activities or mind empowerment trainings, I've mentioned this last time, Mr. Teke has a training institute called SHEP Academy. It's a mentorship program. For just 1 month you can be able to gather so much information that you need to be able to sustain your businesses. So if you need to register at SHEP Academy, or you have a business project that you need funding for, just get to us and we will give you all the information you need. Thank you all so much for always watching.
Okay, thank you to Mr. Buji for coming to talk to our televiewers.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the viewers. It's always wonderful being here. Greetings to Madame Tekeshela for her contribution. After all, I told her that it's a farming season, so as the wife of the chief farmer of the country, she's supposed to be back, and she answered that call. Away from that, Test Global will be having a seminar on the 29th of this month in Limbe, and next month is the 10th for Yaoundé on the 6th of June. We are going to be having a seminar on financial empowerment, how to explore the agricultural opportunities in this country, and of course, live a life of financial freedom.
Okay, thank you too for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. Thank you to our televiewers. It's always a pleasure for me to be here and share my ideas with our community. I think today was a hot topic because it's shaking the very tables of our daily habits, and we must embrace them and try to change. Shout out to Madame Lukong, a lady that met me and Mr. Buji during the week with all downloaded versions of this program in her phone that she watched often. I think that is what we are talking about, and people should do that often. It's a wonderful thing that we are discussing this, and for sure if we try implementing what we are getting from this platform, we are sure that we are going to have a better tomorrow.
Okay, Mr. Teke, thank you too for coming.
So much, Mr. Leo, and the boss of my media prime, thanks so much for this platform. We are so grateful, and we are here to ensure, see how we can put our own little quota to make sure the average Cameroonian is enjoying the benefit of being a Cameroonian. Like I will always say, there can never be a new Cameroon without a new Cameroonian. Let's keep changing ourselves, and we keep changing the world. God bless you all.
We want to thank you, Desmond, Eli, Bertrand, and Noel. Thank you to Mr. Tabi, Tambe Bryant, who is supervising the work we do out here. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.